Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another daily dose of Dismal Disney. We're going to talk about Disney losing to Dolly Parton. Again, Disney's getting their teeth kicked in by almost all of the competition at this point. It's not looking too good for them. And then we're going to talk about how this might be affecting Disney stock, which is down considerably.
Yeah, it's still down.
$96.55. Now, to be fair, the stock market's not doing so good, but Disney has taken a hit more than other companies in their vertical. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
All right, so tell me what's going on with Dollywood.
Okay, so you remember previously we talked about different awards being presented and how Dollywood was beating Disney a lot of categories there.
Yes.
So there's another one. This is through Tripadvisor, and then people vote on, what they want, what parks they like. And I guess according to this article, that Dollywood got the number 1 theme park in the United States and number 8 spot when you compare global parks. Disney only one property of Disney's even made the top 10.
And it's in third place.
And it's Magic Kingdom. Yeah, so Dollywood was first. Universal Islands of Adventure in Florida was second. Magic Kingdom was third. Universal Studios Hollywood was fourth. Universal Studios Florida was fifth. Silver Dollar City, Funland, Fun Spot, Santa's Village, and Busch Gardens, Tampa.
So all the Universal parks are on the list. All the U.S. Universal parks.
All the U.S. Universal parks made the list, and only the Magic Kingdom did. But Dollywood, which, I told you, everybody keeps saying nothing but great things about Dollywood. Number 1.
That's crazy. Yeah, we talked about this before, but I mean, this is not a good look for Disney. I mean, they are losing on so many levels, especially in the theme park space, I think, right now. I mean, people are very, very underwhelmed with Epcot. We've talked about that. A lot of longtime Disney fans upset with the changes that they're making to the parks, and D23 is coming up, and they're supposedly going to announce more changes or more reskins, and they really do seem to be losing it.
They do. And, I'm sorry. Well, Inside Out did great, and Inside Out is like, one of the Pixar's biggest movies ever, and it's doing pretty good. It still hasn't caught up to like Mario yet, but it's doing really, really well. That's not enough. It's just not enough. Yeah, now here's the worldwide ones. You can go ahead and read them.
Yeah, if I can. So basically we have, these are the top theme parks in the world, right?
Yeah,
and there's not a single Disney park on this list.
No, but Islands of Adventure made the list.
Islands of Adventure made the list, and Dollywood made the list. But we don't have, I mean, I'm shocked we don't have Magic Kingdom. We don't even have Tokyo Disneyland on here. Which is shocking to me, because Tokyo Disney, or Disney Sea especially, like that is sort of, most people think that is the best Disney park on the planet.
Yeah, the best Disney one. But the thing is, these are people voting. These people, the actual people that go to the parks voting on this stuff. And it just tells me that people just are tuned out from Disney. Like, they don't care about Disney. They're ready to move on to other things. And it's showing, because their attendance is down. Their stock is down. They keep saying they're going to invest all this money and do all this new stuff. But, everybody knows it could take years because they're ridiculously slow. You get Splash Mountain reopened, and it is not, great. And I mean, and in that one, especially because of the backlash, you needed to be like over the top wow factor. Great. Yeah. And it didn't deliver. Well, people were worried about what they're going to do next.
Well, that's the thing. Because, so they had the Country Bear Jamboree. We didn't talk about it too much on this channel, which, so what they're doing now with the Country Bear Jamboree is it's the Country Bear Musical Jamboree.
Yes.
And it's kind of an overlay, a reskin of it.
It's all IP stuff.
It's all IP stuff. It's basically they took some songs from more recent Disney movies, and they've got the bears singing those songs because we don't want them singing problematic racist songs from the 1970s or whatever. But I mean, they've done this before.
They did change Liver Lips to Romeo. That changed the name.
Oh, I thought that. Yeah, I was like, that's not what he's.
They changed that because that's offensive. But yeah, they took everything out. Now look, I'm not gonna say we're gonna talk about this a lot more on the PMP podcast, but I'm not saying it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Right.
But it's not great, and there's some of the stuff that does work, and some of it doesn't work. And it just feels like they're shoving IP into it.
Yeah, that's kind of my takeaway from it. And looking at Epcot and looking at all the budget cut renovations, and it would not surprise me if they announce an Inside Out ride to take the place of Figment, which is not going to go over well. But again, if they're going to make these changes, they have to bring their A game. They're not even bringing their C game.
And then the same people that are behind this, they're moving over to the new stuff, and it's like, oh, I'm terrified what they're going to do.
It's just shocking because the two areas Disney historically has been the strongest in, theme parks and animation.
They're getting their ass kicked in both.
They're getting their ass kicked in both. And, we've been following the situation with John Lasseter and with Paramount. And it looks like he's going to be in charge of everything at Paramount. All the animation at Paramount and Nickelodeon and Skydance, it's all going to be under John Lasseter. And he's going to do for them what he did for Disney. It was them buying Pixar. I mean, that was one smart acquisition, I think, on the part of Bob Iger. They bought Pixar and then they put John Lasseter in charge of all the animation. We had about 10 years where pretty much hit after hit after hit after hit. Now they're just taking hit after hit after hit. And Universal, I'm sorry, there's nothing Disney has in the pipeline that's even close to what Epic Universe.
No, because they're saying basically like we didn't put the Shadow Man, Dr. Facilier in Splash Mountain because we want to avoid things like voodoo and stuff.
It's too scary. We couldn't do that.
Yeah,
it's too
and then
scary.
even they're talking about when they do Dark Kingdom, which would be the villains land. It wouldn't be like a scary villains experience. It's going to be like, it's just going to be quirky and bizarro. And it's like, no. And people are going to go to Epic Universe because they're going to go to Dark Universe and they're actually going to get scary.
I am looking forward to Dark Universe more than I'm looking forward to Mario at this point. Like I saw it. I was like, man, I hope they don't screw this up. And I saw it. And as soon as they're like, yeah, we want you to be scared. We're not afraid to do PG-13 here at Universal. I'm like, thank God. Thank God somebody gets it.
Yeah, well, Disney doesn't get it, and they've lost the plot, and that's what it's showing in their stock and everything else. And even for their animation, like Illumination's taking their lunch, and they're going to be doing more, probably Nintendo movies.
Yeah.
So they're going to get their butts kicked over and over. I mean, you get one hit, but that one hit is enough to offset the years of damage.
All right, so this article, they're basically talking about Inside Out 2 and how it's not enough to push Disney stock higher. And again, this is just one win out of how many failures, right? I mean, you have like 5 to 8 box office failures in a row, and you get one movie that performs like it's supposed to, or actually better, even exceeding expectations. But that doesn't mean that it makes up the deficit for all the other movies that
it's
struck
not gonna. That's just it is what it is.
Yeah. So they said, Inside Out 2 won a particular honor over the holiday weekend. It's one of the top grossing Disney films ever. In fact, it's now number 9 on the list, displacing 2 installments of Star Wars.
Wait, is it Rise of Skywalker and Rogue One?
Yep.
Wow.
With only $10 million to go before it beats out the Lion King remake, it's a pretty safe bet that Inside Out 2 will land a couple more spaces on the list before it's all said and done. At least that's the case domestically. It's going to have to pull in $400 million worldwide to overtake the Lion King. But they said there's trouble. There's some issues for Disney. One of the biggest issues that has emerged was the issue of
DAS. Yes.
DAS.
It has been a black eye. And then people are like, the media is picking it up now, which surprises me because they're like, normally it's white knight for Disney, but now that, it isn't in vogue to just kiss Disney's ass. They're running with it now and pushing it and promoting it. And I know that one girl that we talked about in the video about, she was saying about her idea for paid service or whatever. She picked up a lot of momentum. I know they had a one of those petitions you could sign.
Yeah.
And it was gathering a lot of momentum because a lot of people who you would look at them and you could say, yes, I can see why they would have trouble waiting in lines. They might need the service, are being denied. But if you have like a behavioral situation or like autism or something like that, not everyone, but they're giving it to those people. And it's like, I think that they need them, but I think there's other people that need it as well.
Yep. So they said, Disney has a weakening consumer base. This is coming from Seeking Alpha. They have a weakening consumer base.
Yeah, I wonder why. Maybe because everything's so damn expensive.
Yeah.
The reason they're not allowing DAS is because they're losing money, or they can just make you buy Genie Plus, and they're going to make money. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. They said that Disney Plus is not performing. They said
but it's supposed to be completely, making money by the end of the year.
They said that they are lagging behind competitors, especially Netflix. Now we have the Paramount Skydance merger with John Lasseter in charge of animation, right? Which is still, I mean, animation's still a relatively small part of, well, I don't know. You say animation's a relatively small part of the picture, but then you look at Inside Out 2 being a massive hit for Disney. And if Paramount and Skydance could put out movies on par with that, or even, you know, what DreamWorks is doing, it's going to be an issue for them. You know, it's definitely going to be an issue for them. But, you know, you've got HBO now, and they're teaming up with like Apple and doing whatever, Netflix and all that. So it's going to get really hard for Disney to keep the pace, I think, because all of their enemies are teaming up with each other.
Yeah.
You know?
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Exactly. That's what's going on. They said, as they mentioned above, Disney actually lost 1.6 million subscribers worldwide in their last quarter. On the other hand, Netflix gained over 9 million in their last quarter.
Speaking of Star Wars, we mentioned earlier, it's coming out through other ratings that Acolyte didn't do very well. Shocker! Didn't see that coming.
What?
You don't say.
They're talking about the company having a slowdown in revenue. And like, look, I mean, they had a hit, and I'm not going to begrudge them. Inside Out 2, I haven't seen it yet. People said it was actually pretty good. People whose opinions I trust said it was good. It was returned to form, but this is something they need to do, you know, 5-8 years ago.
Right. But the thing is, I mean, the takeaway is if that's something they do with as well, I'm hoping the lesson's going to be, oh, more of this, but their lesson's going to be more sequels. But you know what I mean? It's going to be more of something that people actually enjoy instead of pushing narrative. And I still think a big reason that they're failing with their stock, besides the box office, is the fact that it's too expensive, and we're seeing a huge decline in the attendance, and they're using the park revenue to bankroll everything else because everything else wasn't profitable.
Yeah, and the problem is they're dropping the ball with the parks.
Yeah. 100%.
So that's the thing. Like when their movies were down, when they weren't making money at the box office, they need to be looking at the theme park situation, be like, okay, fine. If we can't make bank at the movie theater, then we are going to do the best damn job we can do renovating Epcot. We're going to do we're going to announce a fifth gate. We're going to, give people deals that are too good to pass up. We're going to make sure that all the rides are properly maintained, just basic shit that everybody else seems to do. And they're like, no, let's cheap out on Epcot. Let's take one of the most popular villains in modern Disney history and remove them from a ride that's had a lot of contention around it. You know what I'm saying? It was controversial. And to your point, it was like, if you were going to do the reskin, fine, do it. But it has to be better than Splash Mountain.
And it's not.
And it's not. It wasn't that hard to get it right. All you had to do was follow the movie. I think people would have loved it.
I think so too. I agree. Looking at the theatrical releases here, if they're waiting, okay, they're waiting for these other movies to save them. And they said they're working on new content. They have an impressive slate. I disagree. They think it's going to turn a tide. I disagree. Because when you see what's coming this year, a couple of things I think are going to do well this year. But next year, I think they're in a world of hurt except for one. They haven't delivered yet was Deadpool and Wolverine, which is July 26th.
That's going to make bank.
It's going to make a lot of money. Yeah. Alien Romulus, we'll wait and see.
I would say Planet of the Apes money.
Okay, and then Real Pain. Moana 2, I think will do well.
Yeah.
Night Bitch, no idea what that is. Sounds like a movie for me. Mufasa the Lion King, do not think it's going to do well.
I don't think
Everybody universally is not liking this. They think it's stupid. Well. Captain America, Brave New World, we're into next year. Not going to do well.
No.
Untitled Disney, well, who knows? Snow White, not going to do well. The Amateur, no idea. Thunderbolts, not going to do well. Untitled Disney. Elio, do not believe Elio is going to do that well either. No. I haven't seen enough of what I've seen. I don't think it will. And then the Fantastic Four. That is your one chance next year as the Fantastic Four, depending on how bad you F it up.
Well, we're already talking female Silver Surfer, and a lot of people don't like Pedro Pascal, so I don't know.
Yeah, but I know at least your best shot the next few months is Deadpool and Wolverine and Moana 2.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what it is. I do not think Mufasa is going to do well.
No, and it used to be, I mean, Disney used to fire on all cylinders. It used to be pretty much every movie they put out made a bunch of money. And now, like I said, you can have one massive hit like Inside Out 2, but it doesn't make up the deficit from the 5 failures you had before it. Mm-hmm. You start to dig your way out, but you're not out of debt.
No, it's just like you put a couple shovels in the hole and you're stepping up, but you're not out of the hole.
Right. And what's going to do it for them long term is they got to fix the theme parks.
Yeah, because that's what they're using to bankroll everything that's failing, because the Disney Plus isn't doing that well. And a lot of their subscribers, I think, that are people that, you know, were getting it for free through Verizon or something like that. And then you have, they have advertising, which is probably helping them. But I don't think it's doing great. It'll probably break even or start making money, but not a lot. And then you have the movies, which have been failing. And like I said, one isn't going to save it. No. They were leveraging and like squeezing the theme parks, and people aren't going anymore because they're tired of being squeezed.
Yeah.
But you know what? Everybody wants to go to Dollywood and Universal Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Hollywood and Universal Studios Florida and Silver Dollar City and Funland and Fun Spot and Santa's Village and Busch Gardens Tampa. They want to go to those places. Oh, Magic Kingdom's in there. But they don't want to go to the other Disney parks.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, this just shows that everybody is gunning for Disney at this point, and you're not the undisputed champion of theme parks anymore. It used to be that all the top, you know, all their parks actually at one point were in these top 10 lists, like every one of their parks. It was just a matter of, you know, which order they would be in. And now just Magic Kingdom.
Or at least 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah. At least Epcot almost always made it. Animal Kingdom almost always made it. Hollywood, I don't think anybody really.
Well, they did, I think, when they started Star Wars at first, but people are just tired of it, and they're over Disney. Disney has found a way to turn everybody off. And your greed has done you in. Your lack of good content, your agenda pushing bullshit, and then you're you know, completely fleecing the customer. Not what people, not a good look. Not what people, you know, are happy to support.
Yep. So I think a lot of memories are going to be made at in particular Epic Universe going forward, and Harry Potter. I mean, Harry Potter's huge. Harry Potter is the Star Wars for the millennials and Gen Z, right? And, you know, we went to Barnes & Noble, and there was a massive Harry Potter section. So I don't think kids need to go see Mickey anymore. I don't think it means as much.
There was not a massive Star Wars section. They had books, but they didn't have a whole section dedicated.
Not a whole wall. Not like they did Harry Potter.
That. So we're going to wrap this up?
We're going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.